In a quiet town in Vermont, there lived a little girl named Clara Evans. Clara's house was built on the edge of a wide, green field. The field was so vast that nothing but green could be seen as far as the eye could see. During the day, the field was filled with butterflies, bees, and birds, and at night, there was only the sound of crickets and the soft rustle of the cool breeze. Clara's house was made of wood. It was not very large or magnificent, but it was very beautiful in its simplicity. When it rained, the drops fell on the roof of the house as if playing a lullaby. On the porch, Clara's mother had grown flowers in pots: roses, blue lilies, white daisies. The colors of these flowers changed with each season, but their fragrance always filled the house. Clara's father often sat on the porch in the evenings and told stories. They would tell her how the stars always looked down on people on Earth, how old trees had stood for centuries and were strong despite all the weather. They would say, "Clara, peace is always hidden in the little things, in a gentle breeze, in the song of birds, or in the smell of the soil after the rain." Clara loved these things very much. She would treasure these little things in her heart. Nighttime was the most special time for Clara. When the whole town fell silent, the lights went out and only the faint sound of the crickets remained, then Clara would go to her room and get ready for sleep. She would put on her soft pajamas with the moon and stars embroidered on them, and go and sit by the window. The window would show a beautiful view of the sky. The deep blue sky, pieces of clouds that slowly floated, and between them countless stars that twinkled as if someone had lit small lamps in the sky. Sometimes the moon would rise and spread its silvery light over the entire earth. Clara would watch all this and a strange peace would settle in her heart. One night, when she was very tired, she opened the window. A cool breeze entered her room and began to stir the curtains. She lay down on her bed, covered herself with a blanket and closed her eyes. The sounds around her gradually began to soothe her. The sound of a dog barking in the distance, the rustling of tree branches, the faint melody of a cricket, all together became a lullaby. Clara found herself walking in a dream across a long green field. The stars in the sky were twinkling like lamps scattered on the ground. Fireflies were floating in the air, their light dim but magical. Their flickering light illuminated the path. Clara slowly walked through the field. The grass was touching her hands, soft and cool. The wind was blowing on her face, and it seemed as if it wanted to carry her away. She walked towards an old oak tree. How old and strong this tree was! Its leaves rustled in the gentle breeze, and it seemed as if it itself was telling a story. Clara sat under this tree and leaned her back against its strong trunk. She took a deep breath. The air smelled of wild flowers and wet grass. In the stillness of the night, only the owl's voice could be heard. Clara closed her eyes and felt as if the whole universe was taking her in its arms. She felt how beautifully the world sang. The wind, the stars, the grass, all were repeating the same message. Relax. Everything is fine. Sleep peacefully. Clara's breathing became lighter. Every part of her body began to sink into the bed. In her dream, the fireflies were covering her with a blanket of light. The stars dimmed, as if pushing her further into sleep. Then a river began to flow in her dream. The water of the river was sparkling in the moonlight. The soft, quiet sound of the water was like someone singing a sweet lullaby. Clara sat on the bank of the river and dipped her feet in the water. The water was cool and calm. She felt as if the river was washing away her fatigue. Trees stood on the bank of the river. The fireflies on their branches were as bright as small lamps on the trees. Sometimes a falling star would pass by and draw a line of light across the sky. Clara wished in her heart, "I wish this peace would last forever." Slowly she lay down on the bank of the river. She looked up at the sky, her eyes began to feel heavy. The sound of the water, the rustle of the wind, the glint of the stars, all combined to become a lullaby. Clara felt that her body had become lighter, as if she herself were flying in the sky with the stars. Sleep was slowly taking her into its embrace. A few moments later, she fell into a deep sleep. A soft smile graced her lips. Her dreams were filled with a glow of fireflies, the light of the river, and the twinkling of stars. She arrived in a world where there was only peace, light, and love.